The third week of August is not just another point on the calendar. It is not just a sequence of days passing by. It carries weight. It carries the possibility to transform. Most people walk through life blind to the signals of change. They treat every week, every day as the same. But there comes a time when life stops whispering and begins to speak loudly. A time when the silence is broken with a warning. And that warning is not to frighten you. It is to awaken you. The third week of August stands as such a moment, a turning point, a reminder that cycles are shifting, and if you continue to live in the old way, you will miss what is opening before you. When you look at your life, you see patterns. You wake up the same, you think the same thoughts, you act the same way, and then you wonder why nothing changes. But change does not come from time itself. Change comes from awareness of time. The third week of August is significant because it demands awareness. It is a season of transition. It carries an energy that forces you to stop and look at your own choices, to ask, how long will I keep repeating? How long will I ignore the call to rise? A warning does not come to those who are ready. A warning comes to those who are asleep, to those who must wake up now. Think of this week as a mirror. It does not show you what you want to see. It shows you what you are. And many will not like that reflection. They will see wasted time, excuses, distractions, habits that have been allowed to grow like weeds. But this mirror is not here to punish you. It is here to give you the power to start again. The third week of August is the signal that the old cycle is closing. You either close it with strength or you will carry its weight into the next season. Most people wait for New Year's Day, for birthdays, for grand events to declare change. But life does not wait for your calendar. Transformation does not wait for permission. It arrives suddenly, demanding your attention. That is why this week matters, because while the majority are still asleep, you have the chance to hear the warning and act. You have the chance to prepare your mind, to sharpen your focus, to redirect your path. If you miss it, you may enter the next cycle weaker, more distracted, more lost. But if you take it seriously, you step forward lighter, stronger, awakened. This week is not about fear. Fear paralyzes. This warning is about clarity. If you truly listen, you will see that every moment of your life has been leading to this decision. Will you remain as you are, or will you shift? Nothing is more dangerous than ignoring the turning points, because when you ignore them, life will teach you in harsher ways. It will strip from you what you refuse to release on your own. It will break you until you finally learn. But you do not have to wait for that. You can respond now, willingly, consciously. The truth is simple. Transformation is always waiting, but rarely do we pay attention. The third week of August gives you no choice. It places before you a line. On one side is the comfort of repetition, the illusion of safety. On the other side is the unknown, the challenge, the possibility of a different life. And if you are honest, you already know which side you must choose. The warning is clear. Stay where you are and nothing will ever change. Step forward and everything may change. There is urgency in this week because time is moving whether you act or not. You cannot pause it. You cannot delay it. Every day you hesitate, you are moving further away from your potential. This is why the warning matters. It tells you that the window is here, but it will not stay open forever. The third week of August is that window. Once it passes, it will not return in the same way. Yes, life will give you more chances, but never this one. Never this exact moment with its exact power. So ask yourself, how will you use this week? Will you continue the cycle of distraction, or will you step into awareness? Will you waste it in excuses, or will you let it shake you awake? The choice is yours. And that is the beauty of a warning. It is not fate. It is not a prediction carved in stone. It is an invitation, an opportunity to prepare, to decide, to rise. Those who ignore it will call it superstition. Those who listen will call it the beginning of transformation. The third week of August carries change. It is not about the date. It is about you. It is about whether you will see the mirror it holds before you, whether you will take the warning as a gift or reject it as noise. If you are ready, this week can become the doorway to everything you have been searching for. But you must be awake, you must be aware, and you must be willing to act. Because life does not reward those who wait forever. It rewards those who recognize the turning points and step through them with courage. And now that moment is here. A warning is never given without reason. It is never random. It is not noise, and it is not meant to frighten you. It comes because something in your life is out of alignment. And if you do not see it, if you do not correct it, consequences will arrive. The third week of August is not just a stretch of days. It is a moment where warnings become clear, where signals that were easy to ignore before now stand in front of you with force. Life is speaking, and it is saying, prepare yourself. Most people hear a warning and dismiss it. They think it does not apply to them, or they believe they still have time. They mistake the warning for fear, when in reality, it is guidance. It is the gift of being told in advance so you do not fall into the trap ahead. The third week of August carries this exact energy. It is the moment where you are given clarity. If you keep walking the same path, you will arrive at the same results. If you ignore the signs, the cost will be heavy. But if you hear the warning and act, you are protected, strengthened, and lifted. Think about your own life. How many times have you been warned? By your health, by your relationships, by your own inner voice, and yet you ignored it. The body warns you with pain before it breaks. The mind warns you with unease before it collapses. Your spirit warns you with restlessness before it loses hope. Every warning you ignored became harder to face later. And this is why this week matters. The third week of August is not a time for sleepwalking. It is a time for listening. Because life does not always shout, but when it does, it is because the stakes are high. Do not take this lightly. Warnings are gifts that most people treat as burdens. They would rather continue in ignorance than face the truth. But the truth is the only thing that saves you. A warning is the universe handing you a chance to correct your direction before the damage becomes irreversible. And this week, you are being given that chance. The third week of August is a line drawn across your path. If you cross it with blindness, you will stumble. If you cross it with awareness, you will rise. This is not about fear of the future. Fear weakens, but awareness strengthens. A warning is awareness. It sharpens your mind, it reminds you of what is at stake, and it pushes you to act before you are forced to. Imagine driving a car and seeing a sign that says, "Sharp turn ahead." The warning is not your enemy, it is your protector. If you ignore it, you crash. If you respect it, you adjust and you keep moving forward safely. The third week of August is exactly that sharp turn. You have been given the sign. The choice of response is yours. Many people think warnings mean punishment. They think life is against them. But in truth, life is always guiding, always correcting, always pulling you back onto the right road. If you did not receive the warning, it would mean there was no hope left. But because you fear it now, because you feel it now, it means you still have the chance to change. The third week of August is an opportunity, not a curse. It is the invitation to see clearly and act decisively. Ask yourself, what warnings have you been ignoring? What habits have been whispering to you, telling you they are draining your strength? What relationships have been showing you signs of imbalance? What inner voice have you been silencing, pretending you cannot hear? This week, those whispers grow louder. This week, you cannot ignore them anymore. The third week of August is when the truth rises to the surface. It may feel uncomfortable. It may shake you, but it is necessary. Warnings come to awaken urgency. Without urgency, nothing changes. If you believe you always have more time, you will always delay. But the reality is, time is moving whether you are ready or not. The third week of August is urgent. It does not wait for your excuses. It does not care about your distractions. It is here to shake you into clarity, to remind you that if you do not act now, you may carry the same burden into the next season. It will be heavier, harder, more painful. Do not wait for collapse to teach you what the warning already revealed. Do not wait for loss to teach you what preparation could have prevented. You are being warned not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to respond. You are being warned because you are capable of shifting your path. The third week of August is not here to break you. It is here to build you if you listen. So listen carefully. Life is speaking. The warning has been given. Do not dismiss it. Do not postpone it. Take it as a gift. Adjust your mind, your choices, your actions. Step into awareness, because those who respect the warning will move forward with strength, while those who ignore it will be forced to learn the hard way. The third week of August is here. Hear the warning. Let it sharpen you. Let it transform you, because everything after this moment depends on whether you listened or not. The third week of August is not about waiting for miracles. It is not about sitting back and hoping that life will suddenly change for you. It is about breaking the old patterns that have kept you where you are for too long. Nothing in life shifts until you stop repeating what has already proven to hold you down. This week is a signal, a reminder that the cycle you are in can end, but it will not end by itself. It ends only when you step forward and refuse to live as you did yesterday. Think of how many times you promised yourself change. You said you would start tomorrow, you would stop the excuses, you would take your health seriously, you would walk away from what drains you. But tomorrow became another tomorrow. Promises were made to yourself, but never kept. And now you find yourself in the same place, carrying the same weight, living the same story. This is why warnings come. This is why the third week of August matters. It does not come to make you feel guilty, but to shake you from the loop you built. Old patterns are powerful because they are comfortable. They do not challenge you. They do not stretch you. They allow you to stay asleep. But the cost of comfort is your future. Every time you choose the old pattern, you are trading growth for repetition. And repetition is death to the spirit. The third week of August is your chance to end this. It is your chance to see the trap clearly, to say enough. You cannot step into a new season while dragging the weight of old habits. You cannot create transformation while clinging to the same excuses. Something must break, and it must break now. Understand these patterns. Do not just live in your actions, they live in your thoughts. The way you see yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you expect less from yourself, these are all patterns. You cannot change your life if your mind repeats the same cycles of limitation. The third week of August brings you a mirror showing the thought patterns that enslave you. Will you keep feeding them, or will you break them? That decision is the difference between a life that changes and a life that repeats. Breaking patterns is not easy. If it were, you would have done it long ago. But the difficulty is the proof of its importance. Every time you resist the pull of an old habit, you strengthen the muscle of freedom. Every time you act differently, even in small ways, you send a signal to yourself, I am no longer who I was. The third week of August is not asking you to become perfect overnight. It is asking you to stop living blind, to stop giving your energy to the same destructive cycles, and to finally see that your life is being shaped by what you allow to continue. Look at your own patterns now. Do you wake up and reach for distractions before you even breathe in awareness of the day? Do you eat, speak, and move without consciousness? Do you let your days slip by in repetition, promising yourself you will start later? These are patterns, and they have stolen years from you. The warning is simply, if you do not break them now, you will repeat them into the next season, and the cost will grow heavier. The third week of August is your doorway out. You must understand that transformation does not begin with big changes. It begins with one broken pattern, one refusal, one choice to act differently. It begins when you catch yourself falling into the same loop and say, not this time. That small shift is the seed of everything new, and this week gives you the soil to plant it. This is why it is powerful, because the third week of August carries the energy of endings and beginnings, but it will only become a beginning for you if you break what must end. Do not confuse breaking patterns with losing yourself. It is not about destroying who you are. It is about destroying the chains that stop you from being who you could be. Every old pattern is a prison cell. The walls may feel safe, but they keep you small, and you were not meant to live small. The warning has come to show you the lock is open. The third week of August is the moment you must walk out of that prison and refuse to return. You cannot wait for motivation. You cannot wait for someone to push you. The cycle ends only when you decide. No teacher, no book, no sign can replace your own will. And if you hesitate, you will remain in the loop until pain forces you out. But why wait for pain when you have already been warned? Why wait for collapse when you have already been given the chance to rise? The third week of August is not asking for patience. It is demanding action. This is your chance to break free, to leave behind the repetition of the past and create space for the unknown. And yes, the unknown is frightening, but the unknown is also possibility, growth, transformation. If you want change, you must release the pattern that has defined you until now. This is the only way forward. So listen closely. This week is not just another week. It is the line where your old cycles can finally end. It is the chance to stop betraying yourself with excuses. It is the opportunity to choose differently, to walk away from distraction, from weakness, from comfort. The third week of August is your doorway. Step through it by breaking the pattern. Refuse to repeat what has already proven to waste your time. Refuse to live small. Refuse to carry yesterday into tomorrow. If you can do that, this week will not just pass. It will change everything. The third week of August is not about waiting for destiny to choose for you. It is not about hoping life will hand you transformation as a gift. Change does not come through chance. It comes through choice. And that is the truth most people avoid. They wait for signs, for circumstances, for miracles. But in the end, everything comes down to one moment. Will you choose differently, or will you choose the same? The third week of August is where this truth stands in front of you like a mirror. Nothing will change unless you decide it must. Choice is the greatest power you have. It is greater than talent, greater than knowledge, greater than opportunity. Because no matter what you have, if you do not choose to use it, it dies with you. You can have endless time, but if you choose distraction, that time vanishes. You can have wisdom, but if you choose excuses, that wisdom is wasted. Life is not shaped by what you are given. It is shaped by the decisions you take with what you are given. This week is a reminder that choice is the doorway. Many will hear the warning of August and feel fear, but fear without decision is useless. Awareness without choice is powerless. What will shift your life is the moment you say, I no longer choose the old way. That is where transformation begins. Not tomorrow, not someday. Here, now. The third week of August is powerful because it carries urgency. It strips away the illusion that you have endless chances. It tells you clearly you either choose to step forward now or you carry the same cycle into the future. Choice is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, small, invisible to the world. It is the choice to rise from bed when your body wants to remain in sleep. It is the choice to stay disciplined when your mind seeks comfort. It is the choice to listen to your inner voice when the world distracts you with noise. Do not underestimate these small decisions. Every great transformation begins with them. Every strong character is built on them. The third week of August is reminding you that your future will be built not by chance, but by the small choices you make daily. Ask yourself, what have you been choosing until now? You may not like the answer, but your life reflects your choices. If you see chaos, it is because you chose distraction. If you see weakness, it is because you chose comfort. If you see no progress, it is because you chose delay. This is not punishment, it is reality. The third week of August brings clarity by showing you that your past choices created your present. And if you want your future to be different, your choices must be different. Do not deceive yourself with the lie of waiting. Waiting is also a choice. When you say, not now, you are still choosing to remain the same. And every time you choose to remain the same, you dig the cycle deeper. You make it harder to escape later. This is why the warning carries urgency. It is not to scare you, but to awaken you. The moment to choose is not next week, not next month, or not next year. It is now, in this week, in this turning point. The third week of August is not promising that everything will suddenly change without effort. It is telling you that your decision will set the direction. Choice is the spark. Action keeps the fire alive, and growth is the result. If you choose to change your path, it will not be easy, but ease is not the goal. Growth is, transformation is, and that begins only when you choose differently. Think of life like a river. If you do not steer, the current decides for you. It carries you where it wants, not where you want. Choice is the act of steering. Choice is taking the responsibility to direct your flow. Without it, you drift endlessly. With it, you move with purpose. The third week of August is the current becoming stronger. If you do not decide now, it will pull you further away from who you could be. But if you choose, you will use the current to your advantage. You will not be a passenger, you will be the one steering. Do not underestimate the weight of a single decision. One choice can end years of hesitation. One choice can break patterns you thought were impossible. One choice can awaken parts of you that have been asleep. The warning of this week is clear. Do not waste your power of choice. It is the key you hold in your hand. If you do not turn it, the door stays closed. If you turn it, everything begins to open. You may feel fear when you choose differently. That is natural. But fear is not a reason to stop. Fear is proof that the choice matters. If you feel no resistance, it means the choice is meaningless. But when you feel the struggle, when the old patterns fight back, you know you are standing at the doorway of change. Do not run from it. Step through it. The third week of August is not magic. It will not transform you without effort. But it carries the reminder, the warning, the urgency. Nothing changes until you decide. Everything depends on your ability to choose differently. And once you make that decision, once you step into it with full commitment, everything can begin to shift. So ask yourself now, what will you choose? To remain the same or to rise? To cling to the past or to step into the unknown? The third week of August is the moment. The warning has been given. The choice is yours. The third week of August does not wait for you. It does not pause while you hesitate. It moves forward with or without your decision. That is the truth many people avoid facing. Time is not your servant. Time is not your possession. It is slipping through your hands every moment, whether you act or whether you delay. This is why urgency matters. This is why the warning comes now. Because if you do not act, the chance will pass. And once it passes, you cannot bring it back. Too often, people live as if they have endless tomorrows. They treat life as if it is guaranteed. They postpone, they delay, they tell themselves there will always be another chance. But the truth is brutal. There are no guarantees. The only moment you truly hold is now. And this week, the third week of August, is a reminder that now is the only place where change can begin. Not in the past you regret, not in the future you imagine, but here in this urgency. Think about how much time has already been wasted. Hours, days, even years lost to distraction, excuses, and hesitation. Do you want to repeat that cycle? Or will you finally hear the warning? This week is not simply another line on the calendar. It carries a push, a force, a reminder that action delayed is action denied. Every step you postpone weakens you. Every hesitation adds weight to the chains already holding you down. Urgency cuts the chain. urgency gives you freedom. Understand this clearly: hesitation is the enemy of transformation. You may know what to do, you may understand the lesson, you may even feel the fire of motivation, but if you delay, it dies. Awareness without action is wasted. Knowledge without urgency is useless. The third week of August does not come to fill your mind with ideas. It comes to wake you, to shake you, to remind you that the only thing that will shift your life is action now. Look closely at your own life. How many dreams have you buried because you kept saying later? How many chances slipped away because you thought the timing was not right? How many times did you know what was required, but you told yourself you were not ready? The truth is, you will never feel fully ready. You will never feel perfectly prepared. Waiting for readiness is a lie. Action itself creates readiness. The third week of August is not asking if you are ready. It is asking if you are willing. Urgency is not about panic. It is not about rushing blindly. It is about clarity. It is about knowing that life is moving and you must move with it. It is about taking the first step without waiting for everything to be perfect. If you do not move, opportunities slip away, and once gone, and they do not return in the same form. The third week of August carries opportunity, but it will only serve those who are awake enough to seize it. Think of fire. If you light a flame and do not feed it, it dies. Action is the fuel. Urgency is the hand that keeps the flame alive. If you ignore it, the fire fades and darkness returns. Your goals, your growth, your transformation, they all require this fire. And this week is the spark. If you act now, you feed it. If you wait, you lose it. It is that simple. The danger of ignoring urgency is that delay becomes habit, and habits create destiny. If you choose delay again this week, you are teaching yourself to ignore the moment, to waste the chance. Then months will pass, years will pass, and you will look back with regret. But regret is a weight you do not have to carry if you act now. The warning is here to prevent that. The third week of August is not meant to crush you. It is meant to lift you. But you must move. Action does not need to be huge. It can be one small step, one decision made with full commitment, one pattern broken with full awareness. Do not underestimate the power of beginning. The smallest step taken now is greater than the grand plan you never start. The urgency of this week is not about doing everything at once. It is about refusing to waste another moment. It is about proving to yourself that you can move, that you can act, that you can rise. If you want your life to change, you cannot treat time as infinite. You cannot live as if tomorrow is promised. You must embrace urgency as your companion. The third week of August is showing you that the time is not next week, not next year. It is now. The door is open now. The warning is spoken now. The opportunity is here now. But if you delay, the door closes. And once closed, you will not get the same doorway again. So ask yourself, how much longer will you wait? How many more excuses will you create? How much more of your life will you give to hesitation? This is the moment to act. This is the moment to stop playing small. This is the moment to take the urgency seriously. Because urgency is the difference between those who rise and those who remain asleep. The third week of August is not a story to tell. It is not just words to hear. It is a warning and it is a call. Move now, act now, decide now, because everything changes the moment you stop waiting. Everything begins the moment you choose urgency over delay. This week can transform your life, but only if you refuse to waste it. The third week of August is not only about what happens around you. It is not about the noise of the world, the shifts in circumstances, or the changes in opportunities. All of that means nothing if the inside remains weak. True transformation begins within. External events may inspire you, warnings may shake you, urgency may push you, but if your inner self is not strengthened, you will collapse at the first obstacle. That is the essence of this week. It is not about looking outward for change. It is about looking inward for power. The mistake many people make is to think that life is changed by what comes from outside. They wait for luck, for blessings, for signs. But the truth is, nothing from outside will sustain you unless you have built the strength inside. Money without discipline is wasted. Success without resilience is lost. Opportunities without clarity are missed. This is why the third week of August carries such importance. It is calling you to strengthen yourself within, to become the kind of person who can carry the weight of transformation. Strengthening the inner self is not about building walls. It is not about becoming hard, cold, or closed. It is about stability. It is about being rooted like a tree so that no storm can shake you, because storms will come. Life will not suddenly become easy just because you decided to change. Challenges will test you, temptations will return. Distractions will try to pull you back. If you are weak inside, you will bend, you will break, you will return to the old ways. But if you are strong inside, you will stand. That is why this week is a warning. It is telling you prepare your inner self, because without it, you cannot hold the change you seek. Look at your daily life. How often do you give your power away to emotions, to impulses, to other people's words? Someone criticizes you and your mood collapses. Something small goes wrong and your day is ruined. A distraction appears and your focus is stolen. This is weakness inside. And as long as you allow yourself to be swayed by everything outside, you cannot grow. The third week of August is your call to stop living like this, to build discipline, to build focus, to build resilience that does not depend on circumstances. Inner strength is built the same way as physical strength, through training. You do not become disciplined by accident. You do not become focused by chance. You must train your mind, train your emotions, train your habits. Every day, every choice, every moment is practice. When you resist distraction, you are training. When you choose patience over anger, you are training. When you remain calm in difficulty, you are training. These are the small repetitions that build the unshakable foundation. And this week is your reminder to take that training seriously. Do not underestimate how much power you already carry inside. Most people live as if they are weak, but weakness is only the result of neglect. You neglect the body, it grows weak. You neglect the mind, it grows restless. You neglect the spirit, it grows empty. But the moment you begin to care, to practice, to strengthen, everything changes. The third week of August is here to remind you, stop neglecting yourself. Stop giving strength to everything outside while you remain fragile within. Build yourself. Root yourself. Strengthen yourself. It is easy to be strong when life is kind. But the measure of true strength is how you stand when life is harsh. And life will be harsh. The third week of August is a turning point, but it is not a guarantee of ease. It is an invitation to prepare, to sharpen your inner blade before the battle arrives. Because once you are strong inside, nothing outside can truly break you. The storms may shake the branches, but the roots remain. And the roots are what you must build now. Ask yourself honestly, what weakens you? What steals your energy? What breaks your focus? What drains your spirit? Those are the places you must strengthen. If you lose yourself in distraction, then discipline is your training. If you collapse under pressure, then resilience is your training. If you give up too easily, then perseverance is your training. The third week of August is not simply a warning, it is a training ground. Life is giving you the chance to practice inner strength so that you are ready for what lies ahead. Do not fear struggle. Struggle is the weight that builds your inner muscle. Do not fear resistance. Resistance is proof that you are training something real. The weak look for comfort, but the strong seek growth. This week is telling you clearly, stop running from discomfort. Step into it, because every time you overcome it, you grow stronger. And strength is the only thing that can carry you through real change. When you strengthen your inner self, you stop depending on circumstances to decide who you are. You stop being a victim of the outside. You become grounded, steady, awake. And then, no matter what happens in August or in the months to come, you are ready. Because the truth is, external changes may come and go. opportunities may open and close. But if you are strong within, you carry stability through it all. You carry peace through chaos, clarity through confusion, direction through distraction. That is the real gift of this week. The third week of August is not about waiting for life to change for you. It is about preparing yourself to change life. Strengthen your mind, strengthen your focus, strengthen your spirit. Because when you are unshakable inside, everything outside begins to bend in your favor. That is the power you hold. That is the lesson of this warning. So do not look outward for the shift. Look inward. This week is the mirror that shows you what must be built within. And if you take it seriously, if you begin to train yourself daily, then no matter what storms arrive, no matter what cycles end, you will not collapse. You will stand, you will endure, and you will grow. That is the strength the third week of August demands. That is the strength that will change everything.